Hello, my name is Evie Ramirez, and I will be presenting on the Genera Aurantiaca, or also known as the purple passion plant. I will be touching on the natural history, the origin and classification of the plant, along with its ecological role and how human um, use it and how it's cultivated. Guinera aradiaca is its specific name, but is also commonly known as the purple passion plant or also the velvet passion plant. It is part of the Asteraceae family. I don't know if I pronounced that right. The same family as daisies and sunflowers. It originates from tropical and subtropical regions of Southeast Asia, including Indonesia. It is an evergreen perennial and has close relatives such as the Guinera samatosa and Guinera procumbens. These species share similar characteristics, but also serve different purposes in nature and in human use. Um, for example, the Guinera procumbens um, is widely used in Southeast Asia in traditional medicines. The purple passion plant is known for its soft velvet like texture and appearance. The texture is caused by little tiny like purple hairs, and these hairs are called trichomes. The leaves are typically oval and slightly serrated. They also have the trichomes. The stems as well do have the trichomes, so the entire plant has the trichomes. But the stem is like a woody type texture. The plant typically spreads between 2 to 4 feet wide when fully grown, while staying about 8 to 12 inches tall. It produces small orange thistle-like flowers. They have a strong odor and usually bloom only once in the plant's life cycle, typically in the fall if the plant has enough sunlight. The flowering is also a sign that the plant is entering its final like stage of its life. The plant will often begin to yellow and like wilt, and that's a sign of like it slowly declining. The purple passion plant reaches full size in about 1 to 2 years. It's depending on the environment that it's in. And the total lifespan of the plant is typically 4 to 5 years. Also, depending on the environment, it has an adaptation in the with the plant. So the plant has those purple hair-like trichomes, and these trichomes contain anthocyanin pigments, and this pigment helps with a couple of things for the plant. So the first one being blocking UV and like sun. So if it's too hot or too bright, those trichomes will protect the leaf tissues so that it won't get scorched and die. It also helps protect against insects, so they don't really like the like fuzzy stuff. They kind of get stuck. It also helps reduce water loss or transpiration within the plant. With the purple passion plant, there are a couple of needs and requirements. Its natural environment is Southeast Asia, so it is more warm and humid. It's more of a tropical climate. So the plant prefers specific light, so it needs to be bright indirect sunlight. It does. It would be better if it would be early morning sunlight, just because it is less harsh for the plant and the leaves. It does have a humidity requirement, so to be successful, so it prefers to be about 50 to 70% humidity. Along with humidity, there's a temperature requirement, so it needs to be in warmer temperature, typically between 60 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. There is also a soil, not requirement, but a need. So it needs to be moist and have good drainage. If the plant is watered too much, or there isn't good drainage, that can lead to root rot. There are a couple of common pests within the plant. Typically, you would see aphids and spider mites, especially if there isn't enough humidity. This plant is also um, non toxic to both humans, dogs, cats, and just generally any pet, so it is a good house plant to have. In its natural environment, the purple passion plant grows as a low laying ground cover in the understory of Southeast Asian tropical forests, spreading close to the floor. Um, it covers bare soil and it helps it stabilize. As part of the understory, it also retains moisture and it contributes to the forest's ground layer structure. Along with that, it does remain evergreen, meaning that it retains its leaves throughout the entire year. Unlike other plants where they typically like shed their leaves. Um, in their natural environment, they also play a couple ecological roles. One of them is called creeping stems, which prevents erosion, and their orange flower that blooms provides nectar to some smaller insects. In the food web, the purple passion plant is the main producer, so it does create its own food through photosynthesis and forms the base of its energy chain. Small plant eating insects are the primary consumers of this plant. Typically, they would feed on the leaves, despite them having the purple trichomes. Along with that, the flower that it produces also attracts certain insects. So those could be like bees or butterflies. The purple passion plant isn't used as a crop, it's mainly grown as an ornamental plant, meaning that people usually keep it indoors for decorations. It is super popular as a houseplant because it's really easy to display, especially in hanging pots, as well as it's super simple to take care of. It also grows well in warmer climates, which is why it's commercially grown in Florida. The weather provides exactly what the plant needs. Another reason it's common is because it's extremely easy to propagate. You can just take a simple stem cutting and it will root quickly in the right environment. This last slide are the resources that I used to help bring together this presentation.